The night sky over the Strait of Hormuz was tense, a canvas of black dotted with stars. But this night, something else moved through the darkness. The B-21 Raider, America's ghost bomber. Unseen, unheard, it embodied the peak of military technology and the power to strike anywhere, anytime. For years, its existence was a quiet warning to adversaries. Some places are simply beyond reach. But tonight, Iran decided to challenge that warning. Tehran's leaders, under pressure from sanctions and regional tensions, made a bold move. They believed they could pierce the veil of American stealth, expose the ghost bomber, and rewrite the rules of modern warfare. This was more than a military maneuver. It was a political act, a gamble to prove that even the most advanced technology could be met and defeated. The stakes were high, not just for the pilots, but for the balance of power in the Middle East. The world watched. Intelligence agencies from Moscow to Beijing tuned in. Could Iran's mix of Russian tech and homegrown innovation detect America's most secret weapon? A successful intercept would be a propaganda coup, embarrassing the US and casting doubt on billions spent on stealth. Tension hung over the Gulf as the world waited for the outcome of this high-stakes aerial duel. This was a test of hardware, but more so, a test of wills. A clash of ideologies. On one side, a superpower relying on technological supremacy. On the other, a regional power determined to defy expectations. The Ghost Bomber was more than an aircraft, it was the embodiment of American strategy, deterrence through invisible force. Iran's challenge was a direct assault on that idea. They weren't just trying to shoot down a plane, they were aiming to shatter the myth of American invincibility. The world held its breath. The duel was about to begin. To grasp Iran's challenge, you must understand the Ghost Bomber. The B-21 Raider is not just an airplane, it's the product of decades of research, the successor to the legendary B-2 Spirit. Designed to be the most advanced stealth aircraft ever, it can penetrate the world's toughest air defenses undetected. In an age where traditional bombers are obsolete, the B-21 is America's answer. It ensures no target is ever truly safe, anywhere, anytime. This psychological edge is as vital as its physical power. Its secrets are closely guarded: radical design, advanced materials, and electronic warfare systems. Its shape deflects radar, its skin absorbs energy, and its engines are hidden to mask heat. Even its electronic emissions are managed to avoid detection. The result? A radar cross-section the size of a bird, nearly impossible to track. The B-21 gives the president a unique option: surgical strikes that can de-escalate conflict before it begins. It's more than a weapon, it's an instrument of national policy and the ultimate guarantor of American power. Its unseen presence changes the strategic calculation for every nation on Earth. The Ghost Bomber is America's invisible sword. Iran's plan to confront the Ghost Bomber was born of confidence and desperation. Their engineers claimed to have developed a quantum radar system, technology that could supposedly detect even the most advanced stealth aircraft. Tehran invested heavily, building sensor arrays along the coast, all feeding data to a central hub. They believed they'd found America's Achilles heel. On a moonless night, American intelligence noticed a spike in Iranian air defense activity. The B-21 was on a routine mission, but this time, Iran was ready. They activated their quantum radar, convinced the Ghost would not pass unseen. Their goal, not just detection, but a weapons-grade lock, enough to guide a missile. The plan was multi-layered quantum radar for detection, then Su-35 fighters using infrared sensors for a final lock. Every piece had to work in perfect harmony. Success would validate their investment and send a powerful message to rivals and superpowers alike. Tehran saw this as a calculated risk, with a monumental propaganda victory at stake. They were ready to roll the dice. The world watched as Iran prepared to unmask the Phantom. The challenge was set. The outcome would echo far beyond the region. High above the Gulf, the B-21 crew was calm, their world aglow of digital displays. They monitored increased Iranian air defense chatter, aware they were being hunted. But the B-21 was built for this, operating in the world's most hostile environments. Down below, Iranian command buzzed with excitement as faint blips appeared on their quantum radar. They believed they'd detected the undetectable. Orders flew. Two Su-35s scrambled into the night, guided by ground data. The confrontation wasn't a dogfight, it was a battle of information. The Su-35s raced to the coordinates, switching on infrared sensors, searching for the B-21's heat signature. but the sky was empty. The quantum radar blips flickered and shifted, ghosts impossible to pin down. Frustration grew as the pilots chased phantoms in the dark. Meanwhile, the B-21 crew watched it all unfold on their displays. They saw the fighters scramble, the search patterns, the confusion. The bomber's electronic warfare suite was working perfectly, feeding Iran's radar network with subtle, false signals. The B-21 wasn't just invisible, it was actively manipulating its opponent's reality. The American bomber flew on, mission uninterrupted. Iranian fighters were left chasing shadows. The ghost bomber had turned the hunters into the hunted. The duel ended without a shot fired. The myth of American invincibility remained intact. Iran's gamble had failed. The world took note. Iran's critical mistake was overconfidence in unproven technology. Their quantum radar, impressive in theory, faltered in real-world conditions, susceptible to interference and electronic countermeasures. The faint signals were illusions, crafted by the B-21's defenses. Iran's plan required flawless coordination, but flawed data led to a cascade of failure. Pilots chased targets that weren't there, exposing weaknesses in command and control. Iran misunderstood modern stealth. It's not just about being hard to see, but about actively deceiving the enemy. The B-21 turned Iran's own sensors against them. Ambition alone wasn't enough. Without rigorous testing and experience, the challenge was doomed. The lesson was humbling. There are no shortcuts to mastering modern warfare. The incident proved why stealth technology dominates the modern battlefield. The B-21's design and materials make it nearly invisible to radar, forcing adversaries to use more power and sensitive equipment. But physical stealth is just the start. Its electronic warfare suite absorbs, analyzes, and manipulates enemy signals, creating ghost fleets and sowing confusion. Even if detected, adversaries can't trust what they see. To find the B-21, you must use powerful radar, instantly revealing your own position. The hunter becomes the hunted. Defeating stealth means overcoming an entire ecosystem of defenses, beyond the reach of most nations. Stealth remains a dominant, enduring advantage. The world watched and learned. The first lesson, humility. The technological gap is a chasm, not a gap. Unproven tech and propaganda are no substitute for real, battle-tested capability. Integrated systems matter. Radar, fighters, and command must work seamlessly. America's dominance is the result of decades of investment and patience. There are no shortcuts. Nations must rethink their strategies. The real victory was one of information dominance. The B-21 controlled what its adversary could see and do. Future wars will be won in the electromagnetic spectrum long before shots are fired. Control the flow of information, and you control the battlefield. The failed intercept sent shockwaves through global strategy circles. For the US and allies, it validated decades of investment in stealth and will likely accelerate next-gen projects. For China and Russia, it was a sobering wake-up call. Countering top-tier stealth is harder than ever. They'll double down on research, seeking weaknesses to exploit, fueling a new arms race in counter-stealth and electronic warfare. Regional powers may abandon direct challenges, shifting to asymmetric tactics like cyber warfare and drone swarms. The battlefield will grow more complex and unpredictable. The B-21's proven ability to penetrate any airspace strengthens America's nuclear deterrent. No adversary can be sure of stopping a retaliatory strike, reinforcing global stability. The Ghost Bomber's shadow keeps the world's most dangerous weapons in their silos. The message deterrence through invisible power. The silent confrontation over the Strait of Hormuz defined a new era in warfare. Iran's failed challenge reinforced the global order and highlighted the vast technological gap with the US. The B-21 proved its reality, reshaping strategic calculations worldwide. The message: there is no sanctuary from America's invisible reach. Nations must adapt, driving innovation in stealth and counter-stealth, pushing conflict into the electromagnetic and cyber realms. The US demonstrated its power without firing a shot, deterring future miscalculations. In the modern age, power is measured in data, algorithms, and information control. The Ghost Bomber remains the master of the game.